Hello, wonderful and beautiful mates. So it's a girl Jeannie and it's Jeannie's signature. So today I'll be making this beautiful gown with this beautiful sleeve. If this is what you're interested in, please kind of watch till the end and don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and share it to your family and friends. Yeah. So without wasting further ado, this is how I'll be starting. I've already folded my fabric into two. So you divide your biggest measurement, the parts that is biggest, and then you add your sewing allowances. And I used the hip measurement for that because that was the biggest part of my client's measurement. So I'm dividing that. Sorry, you divide by 4 and then you add your sewing allowances. So I'm dividing the shoulder measurement by 2. And whatever I have is what I'm marking there, and I'll be adding half an inch because of course I'll be adding a sleeve to that. And so whatever I got on my shoulder, I'll be bringing it down for my armhole. So let me just quickly connect that. So let me just mark exactly what I marked on my shoulder here so that I'll have a straight and even line. So I'm connecting like so. So if you know how to draft the basic bodies, if you're not a beginner, this should be super easy for you. And so I'll be coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. And this neckline is going to be in form of a boat neckline, yeah. So it's going to be the same thing for the front and the back, yeah. And this cloth is going to be having, or this dress is going to be having a zip at the back so that it will be easy to wear. So now right from there, I'll be taking my half length, that is the shoulder to the waist. And then I'll be taking the shoulder to the hip line as well. So like if you forgot to take your client's shoulder to hip, you can just make do with your waist to hip measurement, or alternatively you can just count like 10 inches from your waist downwards. That should be okay for a normal average person, yeah. So I'm just rolling that out on a straight line because I've already gotten the length of the gown and of course the sewing allowances involved. So I just roll those lines out on a straight line to indicate the chest line, the waist line, and then the hip line, respectively. So the next thing I'm doing now is just to carve out my armhole curve. I'll be getting the midpoint of that, and then I'll come in by half an inch. So let me just carve up to that level before getting my bust measurement. So now I'll get my bust measurement divided by 4. So whatever that is, I'll be marking it as well. I'm just trying to divide it so that I'll have an accurate answer. Especially when your client's measurement is having all these half inches, you need to be careful, because if you just feel like, oh, let me just do it, and you didn't get it right, you're going to be running into a whole lot of problems. So it's better to be sure. And then I'm adding my sewing allowances. I added 1.5 inches as my sewing allowance. So I'll just be carving out my armhole like so. And so we're going to the waist area. Just divide the waist by 4. I need to do that as well. And then you mark it, whatever that is. And then you add 1 inch for that. I'll be coming back to add that later because I didn't remember at this point. I was contemplating whether I should add that or not. But later I just decided to add it, and then even if I don't have that allowance here, with the sewing allowances that I have, it will be enough for me to do it. But I just came back later and I decided to add my data allowance. So even if I didn't use it later, it's still okay. So that is my hip line. So whatever I got on my hip line with my sewing allowances, I'll be taking it to the length of the gown, and then I'll be connecting from there. So in order for me to get a straight and even line, I'll just be marking this, connecting it, because I don't want to go and look for my long ruler. So I'm just trying to do this so that I will not just waste my time and your time as well. So I'm just connecting that so that it would be easy for me to use the shorter ruler to connect. So I've connected that, and then I'll be connecting from my waist to my hip, and then of course from the chest line to the waistline, like so. So we're almost through with the front piece, yeah. So the next thing I'll be doing is to get my neck depth and the neck width, because I've not placed my neck round neck measurement. So for the neck width, because this is going to be like a boat neckline, I'll be making use of 5 inches for the width. You can go as far as 6 depending on how boat like you would want it to look. And then for the depth, I'll just be coming down by 3.5 inches. And so I'll be connecting that. So for a boat neckline or a cano neckline, the width is always wider than the depth. So now, in order for me to place my darts, even though I will still be showing you later by the time I have fixed my lining, but I just want to show you how it's done for beginners that don't know how to do this. So just divide your bust part measurement into 2. For my client, hers was 8, and so I marked for 4 inches on those lines, on my chest line, on my waistline, and then on the hip line. So that is the line that I'm trying to connect. As you can see, just connect it like so. And right there on the waistline, remember you added 1 inch for that. So I'll be taking half inch on both sides, like so. That is to show that that is going to be for our dart. And right there, so that's 1 inch. I was just trying to do it very well. So that is 1 inch. So on the chest line, I'll be coming down by 1 inch or 2 inches. And then from my hip line, I'll be going up by 3 inches, as you see. So I'm just going to be connecting all this like so. Just see the way I'm doing it. I think I've done this before in a tutorial, but I just felt like reiterating it here for people that are new to the channel. And so you're going to take it like that, and then you sew from that point to the points at the hip line, like so. But I'll be showing you subsequently when I've turned it out with my lining. I'll be showing you how to do that as you progress in the video. So I'm just going to be cutting this out because this is our front piece is ready. So I've gone ahead to cut. I don't know why my camera did this. I just don't know. I just suddenly saw that it was like this. I'm so sorry. So it looked so far and it's not the same angle as it was. I don't know. So this, I just placed the front on the back, and I added my zipper allowance. The only thing you're going to be altering for the back is just going to be you adding your zipper allowance. And to mine, I added 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. So depending on you, whatever you want to add, you can go ahead and add to yours. So exactly what is in the front is going to be at the back. So for the back, the armhole is going to be normal, like you're not going to be going in by half an inch. So I would rather cut out the back first before adjusting the armhole for the front. That was what I did anyways. If you're familiar with my videos, that is what I usually do. After I must have cut out the front, then I beg your pardon, then I can now readjust whatever the front one and all that. So for the neckline, it's going to be the same thing for the front and the back, the same depth and then the same width. Yeah, so that is why I said the only thing you're going to be adding is going to be your zipper allowance. So I was just trying to connect the neckline from the camera angle, as you can see. So let me quickly cut this out and then we'll go over to the next step. So if you've watched up to this level and you've not yet subscribed, please kindly hit on the subscribe button, kindly like and kindly share. Thank you. So in order to avoid bulginess of the zipper at the back, that's what I was just basically doing from that part. And so I just placed it like so. Knowing where your zipper is going to get to is quite important in this aspect, because it's not going to be an half length joining that you would know exactly where the zipper is going to be. So you need to ascertain where your zipper is going to end, and then you're going to be cutting off that half an inch. That is the way we do it to avoid bulginess. So I'm just basically going to be cutting this out. So I'm cutting out the zipper to reduce the bulginess at the back, as you can see. And then I'll just slit the sides open. And so we're basically through with that. So for the front part, that the design at the upper part, I just went ahead to iron gum stay on my fabric. I'll be making use of a doll face fabric, and I ironed the gum stay on it to give it stability and strength. So when I went ahead to cut out what's like a facing, it's form of a facing, and then I slanted it like so, come down by the width you would want, and this is what I have. I didn't want this place to be too slow and all, so that's why I'm just like put it in a fast forward mode. So you can see I've placed it in front, and I'll be running it like so. So this is what I'll be using, this ribbon, and then I'll be marking the intervals for the ribbon 1.5 inches at the lower part, and then for the upper part I marked half inch respectively, and then I'll be connecting those lines. So it's on those lines that I'll be sewing that ribbon, that velvet ribbon. It's a velvet ribbon. So I'll be doing the same thing on this other side as well. So having done that, this is what I have. And in order for it to be easy for you to sew your fabric, just go ahead and sew like a bias at the lower part like so. Just sew a bias on it so that that bias will serve as a guide. So for the neckline, just sew it like a quarter of an inch on the neckline to hold it in place before coming to this lower part, and then you fold in your bias. So this bias is going to be serving as your guideline when you're sewing it. Just push it in and then you sew on it. It will be very easy for you and it will come out very neat. So I've gone ahead to attach my zipper, as you can see, and I've done the back darts. So I just want to explain how I'm going to be doing the darts for the front. I've already shown you when I was cutting it, but I just want to like reiterate it here on the lining. That is exactly the same thing that I did. So what I'm getting now is my waistline and then my hip line. That is shoulder to waist and then shoulder to hip respectively. So I'm just rolling that out in a straight line. So this is just for emphasis sake. And this is the chest line. Let me just roll that out. It was directly under my armhole. Yeah. So that's the chest line. So now I'm going to be dividing my bust plan measurement by 2, and then I'll be marking it on my chest line, my waistline, and then my hip line. and then I'll be connecting that out in a straight line. And so, like I did earlier, I'll just take in my dots of alpha fringe on both sides. So now remember that our V pattern is at the front. So this is going to be affecting if I want to do it all the way up. So I'll be measuring where that V got to. You can see it got to like 3 inches below my chest line. So that is exactly where I'll be stopping the dart, because I can't run the dart across the pattern. That would not be fair. So that is why I just had to show you how I was going to fix this dart. I beg. Sorry, I forgot that it had gone up by that inches. Okay, so that is what I just did. So that is how you're going to be sewing your dart. So you sew it from here to there, so you can see it. So I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other side as well. This is just to show you very well, so that you won't say, you did not show us how you did the other side. It's exactly what I did on this side that I'll be repeating on the other side. So I'm just like trying to take my time to do this very well so that you would understand. So I'm just going to be rolling those lines out to indicate the lines. So exactly what I did there is what I'll be doing right here. A bust span divided by 2, then you mark it. And then you connect in a straight line. And then you come to your waist area, you take your alpha fringe for your dart. And then from your hip line, you go up by 3 inches. And then from the chest line as well, you come down by 3 inches, just because we have something there. Because ordinarily, I would advise you use 2 inches or 1 inch when coming down from your bust line. But because of the design we have in the front, that is why I came down by 3 inches, so that it will not go and alter the design that we have there. But if you still don't want to put any dart on this style, you are still good to go. I just felt like, let me just give this so that it will have a little bit of a shape instead of it just being just straight like that. So you can see I've gone ahead to do that, and I've joined it on the shoulders and all. So we're going to the sleeve area. So for this sleeve, it's going to be in 2 layers. So this is the first part. I didn't know my camera did not show when I was cutting this, so I had to bring it back to explain. So you know how to cut a basic sleeve. This should be super easy. After cutting your basic sleeve, go up. I went up by 4 inches. If you like, you can go higher than that, and then you carve it down so that that other side will be higher than this lower side. That is just the whole essence. So basically, the next step we're going to be doing now is to cut out the flounce that will be at the lower part. And for the flounce, you can make it 1440 degrees, but I made mine 720 degrees. That is, I cut out 360 times 2. That is 2 pieces, and I joined it. And that was what gave me that look. But for some people, they go for 1440 degrees. If that is what you want, you're going to be cutting out 360 times 4. And that should give you 1440. So I just want to show you a caricature of how I'm going to be cutting this out. Like, just show you on a paper. It's basically cutting out a peplum. And how do you go about that? When you take the total measurement of the round sleeve measurement, that's the lower part that I'm just trying to show you there. Whatever that is, you divide it by 6.28. And whatever you get is going to be the radius of your sleeve. So that is what I just did. I divided by 6.28. Whatever that gave me is going to be the radius. And then for the length of the flounce, this entirely depends on the horsehair braid that you're going to, or the crinoline that you're going to be using. So for my crinoline, I'll be making use of a 3 inches crinoline. So that means I'll be cutting out at least 5 inches in length. for the flounce. So that is basically what I was trying to explain there, and then I'll be cutting it out just the way we cut out a peplum. I already have a detailed tutorial on how to cut a 360 degrees peplum flare if you don't really understand, but that is what we are going to be applying in this instance. So let me just cut that out in this paper just to show you, and then I'm going off camera, cut out my sleeves. I'm really sorry that I couldn't even show you how I attached the crinoline to the sleeves, because the next thing you're going to be seeing after showing you the sleeves is that I've already fixed it. My phone memory or camera memory was full, so I couldn't record past what I had. But I promise you that I'm going to be making a tutorial on how I achieved that with the crinoline. Even if it's just doing a tutorial just to show you how it's done, I would definitely do that. That is, if you leave it in the comment section. If I see like 2 or 3 people asking me to do that, that is when I'll be able to do that. So please kindly feel free to leave it in the comment section if you want me to show you how I achieved that. So these are the pieces, like I told you. So I cut out 360 twice, so that gave me 720 degrees, because I'll be joining this together. Because by the time the flounce is there, by the time you had your crinoline or your horsehair braid, it's going to be giving you that look, that spiral look, and you're going to be pleating some parts of it to give you that perfect look that you would want. But if you want it very um, flouncy, you can just go ahead and do 1440 degrees, and that will be cutting out like 4 pieces of this. So whatever I cut for this, my plain fabric, is what I will be cutting for the Ankara fabric. That is the African print, and then the doll face, because this is going to be serving as the lining. So whatever I have on the African print is what I'll be having on this plain fabric as well. So I'm just trying to cut it, because I cut out two pieces for each sleeve. So I'll be joining that, and then I'll be going ahead to sew it, and then that was how you saw what I arrived at on the thumbnail. And so this was what I achieved. As you can see, I'd gone ahead to do this, and I did it off camera. I'm sorry, like I said, I didn't know my camera was not capturing, because my phone memory was full, because I always make use of my phone anyways. So I didn't know. At the point, I just felt like, let me check, and I just, oh, it's not even recording. So if you want me to make a tutorial on how show you how I sew this, please just at least 2 or 3 people, and then I'm good to go. So thank you all, and God bless you all. So if you enjoyed watching this tutorial, please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. So like I always say, this is Genius Signatures, and I'm signing out. Bye. See you.